Hey everyone! So if you did not watch my Divergent review, stop, rewind, and click this video. So welcome to Divergent Book Club. If you haven't already, you need to read Divergent by Veronica Roth. I gave it a 4 out of 5-star rating, and this is what the book club is going to be on today. So here I have devised a few questions that I will answer myself, and I will put them in the below bar, and everyone is free to talk about this book on this particular video, comment, and also make video responses or go to my Tumblr and ask about it. It's totally fine. This is a spoiler zone. You're allowed to talk about spoilers here. It won't bother me, and I hope it doesn't bother anyone else because it's going to be a book club discussion. So in the book there are 5 factions: abnegation for the selfless, erudite for the intelligent, amity for the peaceful, candor for the honest, and dauntless for the brave. Chris, during her aptitude test, was put into 3 factions, and she decided to choose dauntless, which I could never, I would love to be dauntless, and that's kind of scary. They have no self-preservation, which is scary. Like, they jump on trains and they scale tall buildings and jump off skyscrapers, and just it's just while Triss is hanging out with these friends, he's like, I'm gonna go shoot this muffin off of someone's head, and we're like, as a human, I don't think I could possibly just be okay with someone shooting a muffin off of my face. But the first question is, which faction would you choose to be in? That is kind of hard. I would love to choose Dauntless, but I think I would just, whatever faction I was born into, stay in, because I would, I don't like change. So I would just be like, okay, I'll just stay here. But I think that's the whole point of this book, is just letting everyone know that no one can just fit into one trait or one faction, as she calls it, as Veronica Roth calls it. That's kind of the point. Like, in my opinion, Triss is just like any one of us, realizing that she can't just fit into one group or one part of society. She has multiple facets to her personality, and she can't just be dauntless all the time. She can't just be abnegation all the time. She has to be herself. So I would just take the easy way out and stay with whatever faction I would be in, because I don't like change, and I think the initiation process would be better. Except for candor, I wouldn't want the truth serum, but that's what I would do. I would just stay. A sub question of that is, do you feel like you could fit into just one faction? As right now, no. If I was in the dystopian world, I don't know. That is such a hard question that everyone asks, and I don't know. I can't answer it. So can you? Second question is, how do you feel about Triss's actions throughout the book? Do you think they're reckless? Do you think that they're brave? Do you think a 16-year-old girl would make any of the choices that Triss made? And I like a lot of the actions that she did throughout the book. It made a lot of sense because she was trying to fit into the Dauntless faction. She didn't want to be abnegation. She wasn't selfless, but she was trying to mold herself into being Dauntless. And Dauntless is faction before blood. That's you have to be brave and just be up for anything. And I think that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to prove that abnegation wasn't her home, and even though she didn't really know where she belonged because she was divergent and she couldn't tell anyone that she was divergent, she was trying to mold into being dauntless. A lot of the actions, though, were just I don't think I could be the first jumper. That's kind of scary. And then why in the heck would you be, I wouldn't just, hey, I'm gonna scale this Ferris wheel now. But, more power to her. She, it was realistic for Triss, I guess. Question, whatever number this is, I'm not quite sure which question this is, but what are some of your theories about why there is a fence around the city? I think, in my conspiracy theory mind, I kind of think that this city is run in a way that the rest of the country doesn't agree with, and there's possibly a whole another country living outside of this fence and like maybe that's why there's a fence, or maybe it's to keep the people in instead of keeping other things out, and keeping things in so they don't get the mentality that there's other things out there and this is all that they have to live for. Maybe. So how do you feel about Tobias, or For, Eaton, being from Abnegation, and how do you feel about Marcus Eaton being his father? When I found out, well, okay, so at the beginning when when you find out that Tobias is from Abnegation, because in the beginning Tobias is mentioned, and I don't think it would have been mentioned if you wouldn't figure out that For is Tobias. When I found out, I always kind of knew. When you found out, I was really happy because apparently Marcus, his father, is a horrible person and used to beat him, and I really like For. I like his character. He is not the stereotypical role of the like love interest in many books that you read in YA. He's really out there. He's brave and strong, and he like believes in it's okay to be selfish, but it's also okay to be selfless, because I think when you're from Abnegation and you are raised to be selfless, and then you move to a different faction, because that's what Triss did. She was from Abnegation just like Tobias was, and she moved to Dauntless. It's kind of hard because you are programmed to believe that everything is them before you, but when you move to Dauntless, it's you before them. And I think it's cool how it didn't really change Tobias very much. He still thought of other people before himself, but he also thought of himself. And when they were talking about how For could have been the leader of Dauntless and how he could have passed up Eric and all of that, he decided not to because he didn't think that he could do the best job that he could. And I really liked that about him because it just shows his character, and his character development through the story was fantastic. And as he gets to know Triss and his new friends and her friends, and you just get to see a lot about him. Another question is, what would be in your fear landscape? In my fear landscape, I would not just have 4 or 6 fears. I would be like 18 over here. Yeah, 18 fears. Snakes would be 1. Falling backwards would be 2. Losing or having to kill my family would be 3. I know this is really weird, but like losing one of my limbs would be in it. I have a really big fear of like getting shot. I really do not want to get shot anywhere where it wouldn't just instantly kill me. So those are some of the things that would be in my fear landscape, and I'm really interested to know what would be in your fear landscape, because like the fears that Tobias had was kind of okay. I mean, it makes sense why he had those 4 fears. Triss's fears were kind of like, okay, I understand those. Christina's fears of moths. Oh my god, I don't dislike moths. They're not the coolest things, but I'm not like disgusted by them. Snakes are my thing, like big king cobra snakes eating me. Oh my god, gross. No, that would totally be in my fear landscape. How do you feel about the war from Eurydice and using Dauntless as their army against Abnegation? That was crazy. It was ridiculous. I felt for a lot of what Triss and Tobias were going through when it came to that, when like she shot Will and when her mom was killed, and when you see just like this big war breaking out against the Abnegation, and like the kids from Dauntless, like the people from Dauntless that were being tracked, but really it was just a device to make them into their soldiers. And Janine was just like, this is the way it needs to be. And I don't know, how do you guys feel about it? How do you think it's going to play into the next book? I'm going to start reading the next book, Insurgent, which is book 2 in the trilogy, fairly soon. I have a big pile of books to get through, so that's on my like number 3 or 4 list. And I don't know, just tell me how you guys feel about Divergent. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was 4 out of 5 stars, and the cover is fantastic. Oh, I also really like how They got tattoos. I have one, and I have 3 birds. I don't know if you can see, but I have 3 birds for my family as well. Not right here, but I think that was kind of cool because I got this tattoo way before I read this book. And so I have 3 birds for my brother, my sister, and my mom. And Tris has 3 birds for her dad, her mom, and her brother. So I'm excited to see how Insurgent plays out and how Flora and Tris's relationship carries on along with her friends. Now that Will is dead, if her and Christina are going to be friends, how Caleb reacts to her mom dying, and I don't know, I'm just excited. So let me know what you guys think in video responses and comments and questions, and I'll put the questions below in the below bar and make sure you answer them because I am dying to know what you guys think. I really want to know what people's fair landscapes are, if that's weird. And I will talk to you in my next video. See you later. Bye, guys.